Hey 5th grade, it's Mrs. Skioka with your flipped math lesson for today, 11-9. Today's objective is I can divide fractions. So yay, today we're going to learn how to finally divide fractions instead of just multiplying them. Let's start with our first problem. Excuse me. Mrs. T was making sushi rolls. She needs 1/4 cup of rice for each sushi roll. How many rolls can she make if she has 3 cups of rice? So I know for one sushi roll, it's going to take 1/4 cup. I need to find out how many I can make if there are 3 cups of rice. So ultimately, I'm going to be dividing 3 cups of rice divided into 1/4. So I've given you a picture here. So imagine that these are 3 cups of rice. So I've got 3 rice balls, each is 1 cup. And I know that 1/4 of a cup equals 1 roll. So I have to figure out, well, how many cups or how many rolls will I make out of 3 cups of rice? So I've got my first cup here. I'm going to cut it into 4ths. So if I cut it into 4ths, you can see I can make 1, 2, 3, 4 rolls of sushi then. I'm going to do that with all the others. So I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rolls of sushi, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 3 cups is going to equal 12 rolls. So ultimately, 3 divided by 1/4 is going to equal 12. Looks kind of strange, doesn't it? 3 divided by 1/4 equals 12. It's because we've taken a whole, we've divided it into smaller parts, and what we're figuring out is how many small parts then are there altogether. Well, there are 12 small parts altogether when we divide that 3 into 1/4. Let's try another one. Or I'm sorry. Let me show you what's actually happening here in the math first. So 3 divided by 1/4, when we divide a whole number by a fraction or anything by a fraction, what we can do to solve the problem is called an inverse problem. So I'm going to do the inverse, which means the opposite. So the inverse of division is multiplication. I'm also going to find what's called the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 1/4 is 4/1. So what I've done is I've just changed it. The 4 went on top, the 1 came on the bottom. So instead of doing 3 divided by 1/4, I'm going to do 3 times 4/1. We know that 4/1 equals 4, so now my problem is 3 times 4, and that equals 12. Let's try it on another problem. How many 1/3 are in 3? So imagine I've got 3 candy bars here, big long candy bars. So this is a whole candy bar, this is a second candy bar, and that's a third candy bar. And I'm dividing 3 candy bars into thirds. So I've got a third here, and a third here. Now how many thirds are in all 3 candy bars? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3 divided by 1/3 equals 9. Let me show you how I can do that with the division. Oops, hold on just a second. I didn't want to do that. Let me make some space here. I'm going to cut that out. There we go. So 3 divided by 1/3 we know equals 9. Here's how I know. I'm going to do the inverse of the division, which is multiplication, and I'm going to take the reciprocal of 1/3, which equals 3/1. Then I change 3/1 to 3, and I'm going to get 3 times 3, that equals 9. Okay? So this is how we do it with math. We flip the division to multiplication, we flip the numbers to find the reciprocal, and then we multiply and get the answer. So actually, dividing fractions is fairly simple. How many 2/3 are in 6? How many 2/3 are in 6? Now I'm going to go ahead and do the division. I'm going to change the division to multiplication, and I'm going to find the reciprocal of 2/3, so I just flip the numbers and put 3 over 2. Now I'm going to put 6 over 1. 6 times 3 equals 18. 1 times 2 is 2. And then divide. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So there should be 9 2/3 and 6. Let's see here. Here's 2/3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I was right. 6 divided by 2/3 equals 9. Now, drawing a picture will really help, especially if this is a little confusing. Let's try it with 4 divided by 1/2. I can draw a 4 of something. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then divide it into halves. So 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2. Now how many halves are there? Just count the halves. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could also take 4, change that division to multiplication, do the inverse, do the reciprocal of 1/2 by flipping it over. That's 2 over 1. 2 over 1 is the same as 2, so this is the same as 4 times 2, and that equals 8. So our answer is 8, just like we did with picture. All right, now it's your turn. You can try to draw a picture or just use the math and do the reciprocal and the inverse operation to solve the problems. How many 1/6 are in 1? And problem number 2, how many 1/6 are in 6? Okay, so if I look at just one of these, it's cut into 6. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the first problem, there are 6 1/6. 1 divided by 1/6 will equal 6. How many 6 are in 6? So that's asking if you had 6 of something and you divide it in by 6, how many are there? It's going to equal 36. Number 3, 8 divided by 1/4. Okay, so you can draw a picture of 8 things and divide them into fourths. And you'll notice that there are 32 if you count them all up, because 8 divided by 1/4 is the same as 8 times 4 over 1. That equals 8 times 4, and that equals 32. Number 4, 2 divided by 1/8. Okay, so I took 2 circles, divided them into 8ths, and that's going to equal 16/8. Or I could take 2 divided by 1/8 and change that to 2 times 8 over 1, which is the same as 2 times 8, and 2 times 8 equals 16. Number 5, 4 divided by 2/3. Sorry, that should say 2/3. Okay, so I have drawn 4 rectangles. I've cut them into thirds. Now I need to see how many 2/3 there are. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should equal 6. So 4 divided by 2/3 is the same as 4 times 3 over 2. So I'm going to move that over here. I'm going to put the 4 over 1 times 3 halves. It's going to equal 12 for my numerator, 2 for my denominator. That's 12 divided by 2, and that equals 6. Number 6, 6 divided by 3/4. Okay, so I've taken 6 circles here. I've cut them into fourths, and I'm going to see how many 3/4 there are in there. So that's 1 3/4, then 2 3/4, 3 3/4, 4 3/4, 5 3/4, 6 3/4, and then I've got all those extra pieces just hanging there. So 1 2 3 7 3/4 and 8 3/4. So it should equal 8 3/4. Now let's do the math. 6, and I'm going to change that to multiplication, times. I'm going to find the inverse, or the reciprocal, 4 over 3, and then I can multiply. Let me put that 6 over 1, multiply numerator. 6 times 4 is 24. And multiply the denominators. 1 times 3 is 3. So that's 24 divided by 3, which equals 8. Number 7, 9 divided by 3/8. Okay, so I took 9, and I'm going to change division to multiplication, and then 3/8, I take the reciprocal of that and make it 8/3. And so that is 9 over 1 times 8/3, and you can see that right over here. Then I cross-simplified to make it a little easier, and I divided 3 divided by 3, that equals 1, and 9 divided by 3 equals 3. So now I have 3 times 8, that equals 24, and 1 times 1 equals 1. So 24 first, and that equals 24. Number 8, 15 divided by 3/5. Okay, so I took 15 divided by 3/5. I changed the division to its inverse operation, multiplication. I took 3/5, flipped those numbers around to find the inverse, and changed that to 5/3. Then I took 15, put it over 1, multiply times 5/3, and then I saw that I could cross simplify here. So I divided them by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Then I can multiply the numerators to get 25, multiply the denominators to get 1, and that leaves me with 25 over 1, which equals 25. Alright guys, we are finished. See you later. Bye-bye.